everything it looks like on and going.
Yes.
Hello.
This is what, Chris, this is our first
holiday.
Yes, because we got July 4th coming up, and we got a lot tonight. We got a lot. So we've been prepping. We both had to work today, so we're getting a late start. But you know what? Everybody's probably had their dinner, but this is just a good way to end your evening or watch while you got kids going on. What's that alert?
Low internet connection.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So,
we'll see.
Right?
We'll see what happens. Okay, so we've got 4 things that we're going to do tonight. And this is going to be a busy, fast. We've done some prep work.
We try to do a lot of the prep work, which is a little different for us. Normally we try and, show off a little bit more of the prep and spend a lot of time, talking through it, and just for the sake of trying to make it a pinch more streamlined, we're giving this a shot and we're going to see how it goes. But like Jen was just saying, we've got 4 things. We're going to start with a beef and mushroom slider, which the fun thing is that we actually use a pretty fair amount of mushrooms to substitute some of the beef. So we were playing with I'm starting to grow on this thing and now I'm going to draw a blank, the quick slice. Yes, the quick slice. So you can kind of see the blades are in there. So the fun thing is that it just lines up, you press down on it, and it cuts. So I could usually do like 4. If they were a little bit smaller, you could do a 5th mushroom. You could do several of those. For our dessert, we got to play with it a second time. Actually, for the topping,
perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, great even slices. So if you're needing something, like if you're making a beef stroganoff and you want to throw mushrooms in, another time where you
I think it probably cut down because we had strawberries that we cut and mushrooms that we cut.
We even did the tomato.
And we did the tomato. And I think it literally took us about 2 or 3 minutes to do them. And if we were cutting them by hand, it would have taken 10 to 15 minutes.
Right. At least.
At least. So, okay.
Love this thing. So, of course, we're not showing it off, but we're talking about that we used it. So,
yeah, we should have saved a couple mushrooms
I know.
to show y'all.
But it was so fast and we were like already done.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll just talk about it. So, go ahead and get that going because we want to let this preheat a little bit. So, excuse the clicking while we get the gas burn. Oop, you just cut it right back off.
I did.
Yeah.
Try again.
There we are. And we want, we're using a little fun, handy dandy tool that I got is the double burner grill, excuse me.
And press.
And that's something, of course, these suckers have some good weight to them.
Yes, they do.
They are phenomenal though, so we're going to go ahead and just stick this on. That is on medium. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and set that there.
And you want to keep the presses, this comes with 2, or has 2. You can get it without and you can get it with. You want to keep it on there because it heats up the press so that you're cooking both sides. And that's what reduces the time it takes to actually cook the burgers. And they literally take about 5 minutes on each side. And we're doing sliders. One thing that this recipe uses that I don't have, it's on my wish list, as with a lot of other stuff, and of course I can't read it, is the burger and slider press, which is so awesome. If you go online, you can see how it works. Basically, it's two sizes. You can make a burger size, or you can make a slider size, and the thing that comes with it presses it down into the correct
shape.
Right, nice. The right shape and stuff, so it works perfectly. The only problem is we don't have it, so we're doing this by hand. So that's going to be fun. We're going old school tonight.
Right. Well, when you're cooking in the kitchen, sometimes you just get your hands dirty. That's just
We definitely will get our hands dirty. So we let this heat up for about 5 or 6 minutes. And while that's heating up, we're going to go ahead and put everything together because like he said, we've got just a little bit of ground beef and a whole lot of mushrooms. This is substituting some of the ground beef, so it makes it a little bit more healthy. A little bit healthier choice.
And of course, for you mushroom lovers like me, this is always a wonderful thing. I probably could eat my weight in mushrooms and not think twice.
Yeah.
And it's just ends up being a really good alternative. We've talked about alternative uses for stuff in the kitchen, so substituting pasta with zucchini was a great idea. So here we are again where you're adding in a little bit of a healthier alternative and still making a great choice. So we have already done the slicing with the quick slice. However, we need to put it in the manual food processor, and we want to do batches of it finely processed. So I'm going to let Jen go ahead and get started on that while I continue talking about it. So once we're done, we're going to put all of this, the 3-quart micro cooker plus. What is that for?
That is the microwave. It's the black one.
Okay.
Yes, that thing is phenomenal. I've used it, for potatoes, I've cooked ground beef in the microwave. So it's a nice handy tool, and it's on the relatively inexpensive side, so it's a nice alternative to not an alternative, but another way of using for pastas. You can make pastas in there.
Can you use it to steam vegetables?
Yes.
Awesome.
Broccoli, that's what I use it for a lot. Sweet. Because we do like broccoli in our house. And I shoved this thing full, so it's going to take me just a couple minutes. It calls for finely chopped. Let me grab this. That's what these things are perfect for. Yeah. Move these around. I probably shouldn't have put so many in there, but they're working their way down.
And it does say that you want it to be very finely processed, so that's something
you don't necessarily want big old chunks.
Right. And of course we've got a couple of folks that have joined us, and I cannot read the name, I'm sorry, but from here I do see someone who's also said they have it and love it. So microwave cooker. So definitely great
And
feedback.
it actually comes in 3 sizes. That's the 3-quart. And then there's a 1-quart and a 2-quart. I use this a lot, and I use the 2-quart. And actually you can melt butter in it. What else did I use it for? Steaming vegetables, rice, cooking rice in it. Got a few more chunks. But this thing is so nice because you don't have to find a plug. You don't have, if you've had a rough day, you want to work it out.
Sometimes that is important too.
Sometimes you just need a little extra thing. And I think, you think this is finely chopped?
Yeah, that's definitely.
Okay. Because I will keep
now
going.
finely chopped.
Yes. So
in here.
if I can show, there's finely chopped. Oh, in there.
Yeah.
Oh, I was about to put it in the bowl.
We'll be going to the bowl in just a minute, though.
All right, and then let me get all this.
Well, you're gonna have to.
That's
chop
what
them,
these
so.
scrapers are perfect for. They just get all the nooks and crannies.
And so it did call for 2 packs of white or cremini mushrooms, so we went with white mushrooms. So again, nice common mushroom, nothing crazy. Looking good.
Can you talk over this?
I know, right? Get that cardio in for the day.
I know. And actually, it's not as loud. It sounds so much louder, I think, at least in my kitchen it does. And we forgot to mention we're on site again. We're on location. Filming on location. Yes, we're affectionately refer to her as Mimi, all the grandkids.
Right. So we're
Actually,
in
I call
Mimi's
her that
kitchen.
too. We're in Mimi's kitchen.
And I'm going to scoot up to see comments.
I'm just working up a storm.
That's great to see. Oh, yes, we're so excited. That's Daniela Lynn saying.
Oh, hey!
And sorry if I said the name wrong, but.
Yes, I was not.
She's just saying that it's great to see us in the kitchen again. So
Yes.
thank you.
And I'm sorry I missed everybody yesterday. I just was not feeling it yesterday. Not feeling very well. I was kind of just exhausted. We worked this weekend on my parents' pool and to get it up and running for the 4th, and I think it just wore me out. And I was exhausted yesterday, mentally and physically. I'm just showing my age. That's the problem. It's fried like today. We'll just make this and we'll leave the.
Okay.
I mean, we got.
And yeah, we did a lot of mushrooms. So,
yeah. We definitely did a lot of mushrooms. And what's next?
Next, we're going to stick this in the microwave for 2.5 to 3 minutes.
Okay. Just the mushrooms themselves?
Yes.
Okay. So.
And what we can do is while that's
a
being,
lot of mushrooms.
I mean, that is a lot of mushrooms.
These are going to be some delicious mushroom burgers, and you know what I should have brought is like some good onion salt to add to burger. Love
about that.
Okay.
All right, so 2.5 to 3 minutes.
Okay. I think we're done with this, at least for now.
I'm going to do 2.5. I'm going to go ahead and grab our potatoes that we're going to be doing in just a minute. I don't want them to stay in there for too long, so I'll be right back.
We're doing a quick cooker the quick cooker red potato salad. I left out the easiest part. We basically used the quick cooker, cooked them for 5-6 minutes, I believe, and it said to throw them in the freezer for 10 minutes or so, or put them in the fridge for about 30, and we just got them out, so we wanted to just throw them in the freezer, and so they've hardened up really well.
Bit, yeah. We were afraid, you know, because we did a little bit more in terms of potatoes than what the recipe called for, and so we pumped up the time by a minute or two, and you know, when we were thinking about it, we're like, well, you know, we don't necessarily need them to be ready for mashed potatoes because they were definitely ready to become mashed potatoes.
Perfect for mashed potatoes.
And so once we realized, hey, the time, you know, it does call for it to go in the fridge or the freezer, that actually makes sense that it firms them back up a little bit. And so it also will not mess with the ingredients that go into it. So, you know, there's two sides to that.
What else do we have with this?
You can go ahead and start combining the mushrooms once they're done, but the beef, the egg, and panko in a large bowl.
Okay.
So the breadcrumbs. I was like, what is panko?
The breadcrumbs, yes. Whoop.
There you go.
Meat. And the breadcrumbs, you said, and the egg?
Yep. And if you want to start, because that'll be ready in about a minute.
Just go ahead and stir it?
Just stir it a little bit, just so that, you know, it's already starting to get together. So while we have everyone on, what are y'all doing for 4th of July? I would love to see some comments about 4th of July plans.
Yes.
For us, it's a matter of just getting together with the family. I'll be getting off of work a little after everyone's already gotten started with stuff. However, I'm hoping to still catch in with everyone.
We never start on time.
Right.
We're always late. And if the pool is up and running like we hope, then
it won't matter
because we will be having fun. But yeah, our family, we've got a pretty close family. So we like to just do a bunch of family stuff and hang out. Well, we almost always come over here because Mimi's got the pool and got the nice open floor plan house, so it makes it nice for everybody to visit, and it's going to be hot. And I will say that if you're planning a cookout, I know 4th of July is just a couple days away, but if you're planning a cookout or anything, and it's supposed to rain Thursday, that's the only thing. There's a big chance of rain, last I heard, and that was a couple days ago. It always changes. This is a great alternative because you can grill your burgers. It's got the grill, I don't know what you would call it, the grill things to make it look like it was grilled on the actual grill. Grilled on the actual grill. I'm not even thinking straight today. But okay, so I've got this all mixed in here together. And
I have the little mix and scrape.
This?
The little one.
The little one?
The baby one.
Baby one.
I just need to get a little bit of that.
Okay. So
all I'm doing is I'm over here off to the side straining the mushrooms. It says to drain them really, really well. Make sure that you've gotten all the water out. So
and you don't want it soggy and liquidy. Yeah, so I hope everybody has a nice 4th of July, and poor animals. I know a lot of people have been posting stuff about, you know, be mindful of the animals. There's a lot of dogs. My current dog is not bothered by the fireworks, but my old dogs, the big one, hated fireworks. Okay, so we just mix this all together?
So yes, go ahead and mix it all up.
Okay.
So we're combining the mushrooms, the beef, the egg, the breadcrumbs, all in the large bowl. We want to go ahead and have that heating, which we're doing. So of course, at this point, we would normally be setting or placing the slider inserts for the smaller setting, and then we would normally sprinkle it a little bit more with some of the breadcrumbs, just so that it doesn't stick, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and you know what? I brought some extra flavor things. One is crushed peppercorn and garlic rub. I didn't have an onion one, I don't think. And this is garlic herb.
Do the other one.
Peppercorn?
Yeah, do a little
Give a little
peppercorn.
extra flavor.
Yeah. I mean, it still has a little touch.
Peppercorn, I like
Oh
that.
God, that smells so good.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be good. And those are Pampered Chef ones. And I think I've used that maybe once.
Okay.
I go through the Greek one. I've gone through it a couple times, so I've got to order more of that because I love it so much. And actually, when the mushrooms cook, they brown. So for your picky eater kids like mine,
It'll be hard to tell.
they won't know that this is mostly mushroom.
Let's add a little bit of seasoning in. That's
Okay,
your
go ahead.
just give it like one little flip, and we'll put a little more in.
Okay. Add a little extra flavor. You can add whatever. You can add onion salt.
Well, and I was
Or-
thinking just a dab of Worcestershire, whatever.
Worcestershire
You know what I'm
sauce.
trying to say.
Yes.
Let's see. I'm seeing some comments.
Or
here.
people, I think my dad used to add that smoke flavor stuff, which I didn't
Oh,
really
yeah,
care for
no.
it, but you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
It gives it
I
that
know
smoky
exactly.
flavor.
Yeah, no.
He loved that.
And Laura, I miss you too. I hope you are doing well and having fun. You've already been married, what, a year now? 2 years? Time has flown by, and I'm like, I realize that y'all have been away, but of course, yes, we are having fun in the kitchen.
Yes.
Cannot wait to have burgers for dinner, even though we're going to have these again in like 2 days.
Yes, that's okay. These are more healthy burgers.
Right.
And you know what? If they're good.
We might surprise
Might
the
have to
kiddos
surprise.
just a little bit.
Okay, so this is heated up plenty, you know,
Yes.
probably a little bit more than 5 minutes, so this shouldn't take very long. So we just gotta make some, we're just making some sliders. I'm not a big fan of touching raw meat, but that's okay. And this is still a little warm, so hopefully this will hold it. Oh, you know what? The breadcrumbs, that'll help hold this together.
Okay.
Because the mushrooms were still a little bit warm from the microwave. So if you'll just
Do you
sprinkle.
want to?
Hey, put it on, you can
Okay.
sprinkle it there.
Just want to stay that way.
And this will kind of help hold it together a little bit.
Just here. Set it down. Flip it.
That one's already got some.
Okay. Good. See,
So, yeah.
voila.
So this is a little
I
bit
have a
bigger.
Pampered Chef mat down. I realize that it's kind of
Yes.
hard to see it. We got some other stuff in the way, but I promise there is a
A
mat
mat.
there.
And this is a little bit bigger than the slider. That's the perfect thing about the slider what is it? What's it called over there?
The burger and slider press.
Right, burger and slider press. It just makes it perfect size. I mean, burger or the slider size. And I think we're doing sliders on Thursday.
Maybe we'll find out.
So these are probably, and they always draw up. I try to make them a little bit thinner because they do draw up. Let's see. I want to go ahead because we want to make them all at the same time, and then that way they're done.
You know, this is the
So
first
bear with
time
me.
that we are using the double burner grill. Double burner grill. And some of the great things that we were talking about is where all you can and can't use it. So it is safe to use in the oven. It is safe to stick in the dishwasher. you know.
Yeah, you can use it on any
almost every type of stovetop.
Right where it is. This is a gas grill. Well, I've got an electric grill. The only one, there is one that you cannot use it on. I don't even know of anybody who has them, and I cannot think of the name right off the top of my head. It's not, I want to say convection, but it's not convection because we're talking about a stove.
It's like I have a glass top at home, and it's safe to use on that. I know it's one of those like few and far between designed. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. We'll post it in comments.
We'll figure it out. We'll have to look it back up.
I see we have some more folks joining us. Christine, I'm trying to read that from here and I can't. Christine Robertson and Tiffany.
Hey, Christine. And who?
Tiffany.
Oh, hey, Christine. I hope you're having a good vacation.
Vacation?
Yes.
That's so fun.
She's on vacation this week.
Without us?
Florida.
Ooh, Florida. What part of Florida are you in?
Destin.
No fun. I was just in the general area of Destin, Florida not too long ago. And of course, the water is beautiful there. I have never seen such clear water in my life. Of course, you know, as you are in the Gulf, it's just really nice. And
load those up. I'm going to wash my hands.
We need to switch hands then for this. So the great thing, these are a little on the warm side, so it is always better to be safe than sorry. And I'm just going to set those down. We'll get a nice little sizzle there.
Sorry for the running water, but I gotta wash my hands.
Yeah, I hear you.
I've been touching raw meat. I don't like touching raw meat. Oh, the spatula's right over there for me. So it ended up making, what, six?
And they're a little on the bigger side.
Yeah. We added a little bit more hamburger meat and a little bit less of the mushrooms because it called for 16 ounces basically. We used up almost all of it, but we just wanted to go ahead and get started, and since we had a lot to do tonight. And while those are cooking, let's put the timer on it. So it's about 5 minutes on each side, and we'll kind of play with it because
it actually says 3 to 5 per side.
Oh, 3,
so
okay, let's go down.
Do 4.
Yes.
And we're going to play with it a little bit. We'll see if one ends up working a little better.
Oh, not 3 hours.
Oh, jeez, yeah, please don't.
Okay, I did 3. I'm going to start with 3 because you had already started.
It was already, pretty
So
heated.
we're playing with this. And we haven't used it on the gas burner, and because my parents have a gas burner. So I think that will cook it a little bit faster as well. So while that is starting, we're going to go ahead and start with the potato salad. So we need the bowl, right?
Yeah, I'm going to scoot a couple of things out of my way real fast, too.
Let's get this out. We're shifting.
Shifting gears, please hold.
Shifting gears, yes, please hold. Yeah. And I've already used my big one. Do I use the big one?
Yeah.
Oh, no, this one's clean. I love my mixing scrapers here. Okay.
You see what we're putting to use again?
Yes, we love this thing, and we haven't used it like it can properly be used, but you see how pretty it makes for a presentation.
Display.
Yes.
So, of course, going back to talking from the beginning, with the potatoes, you add potatoes, cut them up into bite-sized pieces, water, a little bit of salt, you stick it in a quick cooker, just in the inner pot by itself. With, of course, the water and salt, you'll set the quick cooker to steam, and you'll adjust it to 5 minutes, lock it, and start. While that's going on, you can also go ahead and get started with mixing the dressing ingredients, which we actually should have started with that first.
Yeah.
I just thought about
That's
that.
okay. So what are we mixing then?
So, well, we were supposed to mix the ingredients in there
Oh.
and then do the potatoes.
Okay, well you know what? That's easy.
Right.
We can remedy that
Problem solved.
real quick. Problem solved. There we go.
Okay, so the dressing contains 2 stalks of celery thinly chopped,
And I'll tell you real quick, sorry to interrupt. We were running low on time, so I used the mix and chop. Of course, I don't have it here, but it's that thing that I've used many, many, many times, the mix and chop, and it chopped it like super, super darn quick. Okay, so it's 2 celery stalks that I washed it, so it's...
There it is.
Yes.
There, again, it's not a white shirt. You can see that a little better instead of over the white cabinets. It calls for 2 green onions,
which we forgot.
So, you know, that's an exception. 1/2 cup of low-fat mayonnaise.
Got that here.
Already measured out.
Yep.
2 tablespoons of distilled white vinegar, which I have here.
Yes. And that's why I love these things. I mean, we had everything like nice and ready, and it works perfectly. And
1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. We need to flip our burgers. I'm going to lift this and let you flip them.
Okay.
Actually, hang on. Where's the timer?
Yes.
Off. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow.
These might not take very long at all.
Oh my gosh, those look so good.
So we might just do a couple.
We'll just do like 2 more because I think too much more and they're going to be like
Okay.
overdone. Okay.
They may be done after a minute. We'll check them in a minute because I try to make them about even. That one's a little bit thicker than the other ones, but the mushrooms are browning, and so we don't want them to burn. So let's just do 1 minute.
Yep.
Because this thing, it was already on the gas, and
it's probably a little warmer than it should have been.
Right.
I mean, we set it to medium. Again, it's one of those things, as you start working with it, you get to know what temperature works best for you or your kitchen. And of course, you know, we're experimenting a little. So yes, go ahead and get your mayonnaise in there. Where did I just lose my instructions?
And mustard in.
Mustard, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper. So, where's the pepper go?
Oh, it's right there on the tray.
Oh,
It's close enough.
right.
That comes out fast. Okay.
I wish that did. So give it a stir. Combine it all. At this point, you know, if we were just making this by itself, you would be combining, or I'm sorry, the timer would be finishing. You drain the water from the inner pot. You transfer the potatoes to the sheet pan, spread them out evenly, cool them in the freezer for 10 or refrigerate for 30. Then at this point, we're going to add it, but before we do that, we are going to check these one more time.
They're done.
Yep.
Don't you think?
Sure is. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that off.
Yep.
Here, let me grab a plate.
Yummy, yum. Oops, that one slid right off. Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to bring these up to y'all for just a second. Leave that on there.
Okay.
Because I need y'all to get a good, close look. As I about lose them. Let's not.
They are steaming it up.
So you get your good grill marks. I'm making my way. Sorry, trying to show all of our fancy technology over here.
Those
are our grilled burgers.
Yeah, mushroom and grilled burgers, and you saw how quickly that was.
Let me know how quickly you can get those done on a real grill, and see if we're
exactly.
just saying.
Exactly, and if it's raining too.
Right.
So to go with our burgers, we already kind of got this started, but Chris had talked about cutting the tomatoes. So basically, I've got this Cool and Serve. I've got several of them because this is like the original, and thank you. And you can use it like this would be perfect for fruit and put a dip in the middle. But this was the quickest thing that I could grab, and I just put some sliced cheese and the sliced tomatoes.
And you know the great thing, I mean, if you're wanting to put this to use, stick lettuce on one side, stick the tomatoes in a stack, put some cheese on the side, put mayonnaise or mustard or whatever your family, ketchup, whatever, if your family is real partial to one ingredient or another, then you got all your stuff in one convenient location, ready to go.
And this, you just put in your freezer. When you're ready to use it, it pops right at the bottom and keeps all this stuff cold.
So if you're wanting to do a picnic, just saying.
Sitting outside, it's perfect. Okay, so we've got that off. We've got our burgers done, and of course I thought they were going to be smaller, so I didn't buy like buns. So we've got
a little bit bigger. That's okay.
Little rolls for them. We'll cut them in half.
Right.
Okay.
So now we can go ahead and put the potatoes in our dressing.
Okay.
Side. You know what?
We can feel that. Yeah, see, look, teamwork. We're so good at teamwork.
Oops, as we're losing one.
We don't want to lose anybody. Don't want to lose any of our delicious. This looks so good.
I know.
And this said to not peel the potatoes. So you can peel them if you want to. I personally love them with the peeling. That's one of my favorite parts of potatoes.
Well, and yeah, I mean, some folks are really picky about it. Again, a lot of your nutritional benefits of eating potatoes are in the peels themselves. So, I mean, it's something.
Oh, this is looking fabulous.
Oh, I know.
And you know, I think the onions probably would have taken it up an extra notch, but this looks so good. So we're almost ready for July 4th. I mean, we are so ready here.
And I mean, there too, we ended up using like 8 and some change. I'm gonna just bring this around again because apparently I'm Vanna White today, and I'm just showing off the board.
I wasn't doing very well with Vanna White and being Vanna White last week.
Show everyone. Sorry if you get funky angles. However, we used about 8. There were some variety of slices, but some were a little smaller than others. So, I mean, that's a pretty healthy chunk of salad, and that's going to feed a lot of people.
And I will tell you that in all, it probably was done, if you just did everything all at the same time, I would say probably under 30 minutes, because the quick cooker didn't take but 5 minutes. Then you stick it in the freezer for 10 minutes just to harden up the potatoes a little bit more. And then throwing everything together just takes just a few minutes. So it's really a quick, simple thing to put together if you're going to a picnic or having a picnic at your house. So it's quick and easy. Now we're going to redeem ourselves.
We went ahead and did the eggs. We added how many more minutes from last time?
We did it on 10 minutes. I got mayonnaise on me.
Here, I'm going to hand you this. Let me get some of these other things out of the way real quick.
And I will, I can use this one. I love these things. So we did 10 minutes, the eggs, peeled the eggs because that's just a time consuming thing. They peeled perfectly, so it was nice. We've already put the egg yolks in here. We've already set up our display for our egg.
I'm not going to turn this too much. I'm just showing the eggs are already in there. All we got to do is now make our filling.
And that's the cool and serve. And the cool and serve, if you, I probably should have left one without it. But basically this part is the part that you put in the freezer, and one side is for eggs. It's got the little egg slots, and then the other side you can just have flat, but either way it keeps everything cool. And so we've had this sitting out for a little bit, and the eggs are perfectly cold. So we're gonna make the inside, and this is pimento cheese deviled eggs. So what do we need to do?
Next is, I'm sorry, trying to figure out, we already have grated cheese. I'm just trying to skip to where we're supposed to be in this recipe.
Already did the grated cheese.
So add the remaining ingredients to the cheese. So normally we would have we would have shredded the cheese ourselves and just added everything into.
So I can just throw everything in, including the chives, or not? Or is the chives like that little
The chives is the topping.
Just a little decoration piece of it.
Yep.
Okay. And this is, I use the whole thing of this, right? Diced pimentos?
Yes, but I think
4 ounces. Do I have to drain it?
I was kind of thinking about that too. It doesn't say to drain it, but I would say let's go ahead and drain it real fast.
You want to drain that and I'll add this other stuff? Okay, so we've got Dijon mustard is what it calls for. And add out a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, and we've got the Dijon mustard handy just in case we want a little extra, because I like my stuff mustardy. And then a 1/3 cup of mayonnaise, and I use the measure, I can't think of the name of this, the measuring cup, which is perfect because it does the solids and the liquids, and you see that you don't have to scrape the bowl. You just slide it right on top. Throw some.
Ready to go ahead and toss that in?
Yep.
Okay. Good enough.
Yep. So we are going to, I should have mashed up these things.
Oh well.
I didn't even think about that.
Oh well. It'll be
But
okay.
you know what? That
Already on it.
love my thing. And now I'm drawing a blank.
Mix and chop.
Mix and chop, thank you.
I was
Mix
like
and scraper, mix and chop. We've got a lot of mixed stuff.
mix and everything.
Another perfect thing for this, I use it for ground beef. I used it just the other day. No, we did Pampered Chef recipes for the twice baked potato casserole last night, which was so good. Oh my gosh, it was so good. So I used it for the mashed potatoes.
We actually need that for this, correct?
What?
This isn't for dessert too, is it?
No, it's not for dessert.
Because I couldn't remember anymore.
Nope.
So as soon as all of this is incorporated, next is going to go into a piping bag, and we're just going to pipe it into the eggs to fill them, and that'll be nice and easy. You know, simplicity, we love it. And then we're going to top it off with a little bit of chives just to give it a little extra zhuzh.
I
Yeah.
don't know who got me started on zhuzh, but somebody said it and it just, I love
Stuck.
it. I love it. Let's see. So I have mixed and chopped this thing pretty well.
That looks so good.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
And we can add more cheese if we want to add more cheese, or you think this is good?
I'd say that's pretty good. I mean,
Okay.
to me that looks like a pretty good blend.
Okay. Sure, I've got all the chunks here, because it won't go through the bag if it's got too many big chunks in it.
You know, I mean, the only other thing, the recipe didn't call for it. I like to have just a touch of paprika on the top, paprika, however you want to say it. But, you know, that's just me. With this particular recipe, we haven't tried it yet, but that might still be a thing.
Okay. Oh, do we want a little bit more
A little
pepper?
pepper, yeah. I was thinking about that too. I was like, you know, but
Salt and pepper come out fast.
I know, I need those salt and pepper shakers at home.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and fill it. And being the cake maker that I am, I always have these handy. And I think they should, I've got like a big,
You need me to hold that and let you fill it, or
yes, usually it's good when you've got like a glass. You could fold it over the glass and it'll get right in there. So I'm slapping this together fast. It doesn't look this messy when I'm doing the icing. Icing sticks a lot easier together. This is a little bit flimsier, so it's going everywhere. So I'll add more in a minute, but this will give you an idea. And basically, you can use a little tip or you can use a spoon, basically, to do it. But you just give it a little squeeze. See, it's got some chunks. Make it pretty. That's not very pretty, but you get the gist. This is not like decorating a cupcake, that's for sure. Because it does have some chunks in it. And I can always tell when the chunks.
Or trying to fight with you.
Yeah, that one's about to fight with me. I didn't get the.
Ooh.
There we go. There we go.
get your groove.
Yes, get my little groove. Some of these pimentos are a little bit big, and some of the.
Well, and so you get a little bit of the chunks of cheese too. I mean, it's
cheese,
mixed,
yes.
but yeah, between the cheese.
Not my best work. These are not cupcakes, but fun nonetheless. And this is why they suggest using the decorator's bag, because once you fill it, I mean, it really doesn't take any time to fill these things up instead of trying to use the like a spoon or whatever.
Right. Hold that open. We got.
Yep, a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's what you should do, is fold it. I did not do that before.
I can shove that down a little bit better, but.
I got all over my hands. What's kitchen work and cooking without getting a little messy?
One more good blob.
Yes. There we go.
Good enough.
Yes, good enough. And yes, I'm slapping these things on there, and I've got plenty of extra. I could fill these a little bit higher.
So I just gave it a little test.
Is it good?
It's really good.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited. You know, we were talking about Southern recipes, and this just being definitely a very Southern thing, using the pimentos.
Pimento cheese and deviled eggs, very Southern.
That is, yes. A little more. You know.
I'm slapping these on. I am not making them pretty, but you can always spend a little extra time making them pretty. Okay.
Sprinkle a little bit on top.
Okay. So
far we have done our,
oh, those look nice.
I know, with a little, you know, we probably need to touch more though, because I'm using, well, you know what, some folks may not necessarily want.
We'll just do half with some chives and half without.
But, you know,
This side of the way.
just between having our burgers ready, now we have our eggs ready.
And our potato salad is ready.
Potato salad is ready. So you can't have a meal without a dessert. So
Not in this family, no.
Yeah, no.
And on this one is a little bit on the healthy side. It's not chocolate or decadent or anything. It goes in line with our theme. Oh, you want to show everybody before I cover it up?
Hopefully I don't drop these trying to show them off. You know, I might be
they
smart.
They look very nice, and we're so excited to try these guys. Oh wow.
I know, I'm so
excited. Super excited.
Okay.
This is going to be delicious, and we can just cover this and put it in the refrigerator, and there you go. You go to a picnic or a party and you've got your deviled eggs, you've got your little container, and they are secure because they're in little grooves for that purpose.
Eggs themselves. Yep.
Okay, so now we're going to get started with the dessert. And actually we
got started.
Yes, we got started. This used crescent rolls, and we used 2 packages. It said a package and a half, but we didn't do it on the stoneware. We did it just in a bar pan.
Here's getting a little bit more. So
oh, sorry.
Oh,
there we go. We used just a bar pan, and so we just went ahead and made it, made all of it together. So you can tell where we Frankenstein that. You know, it rises, but this is all going to get covered up, so it doesn't matter. But this is a little bit, you know, healthy. Last week we did the quick cooker fruit cakes or cakes,
which
and
were super good.
Those things were so good. Dave absolutely loved them because he loves the out of the box type things. But
look, Bubba just joined us. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian. You're missing half of our stuff, but we made some fabulous burgers.
We got some potato salad.
Yum. And we just finished our deviled eggs. Pimento cheese deviled eggs.
And they're covered, but
they're covered.
Bring that around. So there you go.
So we're starting on the dessert. So last week what we did was it was like a cake, and we made them in the quick cooker in the little bowls. They were like this size, and we made them with blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries. So it was very fresh, and we added a little bit of whipped cream on top. Well, this is kind of along the same lines. However, it's got a theme for July 4th. So
this is the Stars and Stripes dessert pizza. So, of course, the croissant rolls, it calls for us to use 1.5. We went ahead and used both of them, made it fit on the whole thing.
The more the merrier.
Normally, you would have preheated the oven for 350. You unroll them, set them into long strips, pinch them together so that it creates a little bit more of a sheet instead.
See, I pinched a lot.
You cook it for 12 to 15 minutes or until golden brown, and then remove from the oven, cool completely. So we went ahead and did that so that it would be cool and ready for us. In the small batter bowl, I'm going to scoop this over
Small batter bowl right here.
We are going to put cream cheese, powdered sugar, lemon juice and zest, and mix it all together using the classic scraper. Okay. So, of course, like we said, in our small batter bowl, got that all together. We went ahead and measured out the sugar for it, the powdered sugar.
Yep. And this, with the batter bowl, it's got measuring on there. It's got them measuring, it's 4 cups. It goes up to 4 cups. And it comes with a lid. So last week I pre-made some of the dry ingredients, put the lid on, and was able to transport it very easily. The cream cheese you want to soften, and is it 8 ounces of cream cheese? 1 package, yes. So we did that. And I just need the mix and scraper. Oh, zest it first.
Zest it first, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and just zest this real fast while she's doing that. And I'm trying to remember, will you look and see how much it said to use? Oh my gosh, I love freshly zested.
1 teaspoon of zest. So we'll just keep going till we don't want to do anymore. Because it smells so good.
I know. I'm like,
my gosh.
I could probably sit here and zest like 5 lemons and not feel like I've zested enough.
Just do the whole lemon.
Yeah, might as well.
Close enough.
And I mean, it's good, it's fresh, it's nice and citrusy.
Yep. And then what he'll do is he'll cut it in half and then use the juicer to juice it out. And this is good because it's got the strainer, or you can just pour. Say you want to have the little fibers, you can just pour if you wanted to. Or if you were using something else that didn't have it, which I don't know what that would be, but so we'll just set it on the strainer and then let him do that. And I can go ahead and start stirring this, right?
Yes, go ahead. Don't get too carried away, because of course.
This already smells so good. And this basically is going to make your topping for the thing. So the only thing that we didn't think about, we're just going to have to do it really thin because this called for 1.5 packages. So they only did it for, for that size. So since we added 2 packages, then we'll just make this layer thin. And what we'll do is we'll add strawberries and blueberries, and then you've got your, what, red, white, and blue.
Yeah, and so it does call for us to use bananas. The bananas, did you already talk about this?
No, the bananas, no.
Yeah, so the recipe itself calls for bananas.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. And we decided, we just didn't have fresh bananas on hand, so, we're going to go ahead and just go for the gusto. And, I mean, you still have the white topping that you're putting down, so it's still considered red, white, and blue.
Right.
So, definitely, I have lemony hands now. I'm like, yes, I love lemon. So, again, just...
I don't know how much lemon we added, but we added a lot of lemon.
Well, yeah, we didn't exactly measure that.
We didn't measure it out. We just
well, do you want to stick a little more powdered sugar?
Yeah, we can do that, because it's kind of, I mean, it's good, it's just a little lumpy. A little extra powdered sugar won't hurt him. Oh, sorry.
I'm coming around.
Sorry. Just a little is fine. That's good. Yeah, just a smidge. We had an arm workout today. This. And you know, one of the things that you could probably use as well is the manual food processor. We used it for the mushrooms, but you know what? You could use it in this. I don't see why you couldn't. Or use it for us, I should say.
Yeah, true.
Because it will mix it right up for you and get a lot of these little lumps out.
You know, and we talked about it, and you know, the recipe didn't call for it, but we probably could have gone ahead and sifted the sugar, and that probably would have helped a little bit too.
Well, it's the cream cheese that's.
Oh, gotcha.
And it was softened, but maybe not softened enough. Or I'm just getting really tired.
You know what, though? It's okay. Lots of yummy going on in the kitchen today.
It smells so
I know.
good. So
adding that lemon just really, you know, as you're thinking about yummy desserts, I love like limoncello. As a kid, I was like, who wants lemon in their dessert? And I guess I'm like an old person now because I love lemon. I put lemon in my water. I put lemon in my dessert. I make sure that like if I'm eating seafood, I put lemon over my seafood. Like, you know, all the things that you're like, ew, why am I doing this as a kid? Yeah, definitely not a thing anymore.
Yeah. It's good. And there's a recipe that, was it you and I that made it? It's the sauce had lemon in it. Was it the bruschetta?
Oh yeah.
The zucchini and bruschetta.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, the sauce that we made with that called for lemon.
Yes, that was so good.
Delicious.
I mean,
okay,
we even got a touch carried away with the lemon, and it was still phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
I was like, yes.
And you can't have enough.
No.
Okay, so this is cooled, and basically, actually, can we shift it?
That might still be a little, like this might still be on the warm side.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Oh, you know what? We could do this. We could take these off.
Oh, and just lay it.
Just lay it on the top.
Yeah.
We'll just stick that right on the top. See, and it's good for a little stand too. Yeah, because it won't warm it up too much. Okay, and then basically we are just going to
spread that across.
Spread this across.
I'm gonna go ahead and grab our berries.
Yes. And
do we stick them in here? Or do we
yes, they're down.
Oh,
2 bowls down there.
Yep.
We used the quick slicer for the strawberries, and that cut out so much time. We talked about doing that with the mushrooms.
Well, because, I mean, depending on how big the strawberries are, you could get like 2 or 3. I got, at times, with some of the smaller ones, like 5 and 6. And so, same thing with the mushrooms. I mean, tell me how quickly you can cut. I mean, I would say most of these.
And they're cut the perfect size,
right,
because they're evenly cut.
Dropped part of this, but I mean, that's four slices out of a strawberry. That's a pretty decent size. So, I mean, that's something. Tell me how quickly you would ordinarily be able to get, you know, 5 or 6 strawberries perfectly sliced, and then get a consistent number of slices out of them, and tell me that that's going to happen super, super nice and easy and consistently and quick and effectively. Yeah. If you can do that faster than I can by putting it in the quick slicer, beat me. I'm definitely challenge given and accepted already. So we went ahead and measured out our blueberries to make sure that we had 50 of them. Jen counted. I didn't count behind her, but
I counted. We had 54, and I'm like, you know what? We're going for just 50. So I'm spreading this out. This is probably thinner than what you would normally use, because we are using 2 full crescent rolls, croissants, whatever, packages.
And you can go ahead and hold that up so they can see, you know, just with that spread across.
Being the cake maker,
oh, nice and even. I know. You know what? It's about to get eaten so fast, though.
I'm so picky. I like to have it perfect.
Well, you know what?
And I can't. And you can't make this perfect because it's not perfectly flat either.
Right.
But
it's like A for effort.
where I was squeezing the stuff together. Okay, so.
Get the edges.
Get the edges. So, basically that's, you just cover it with your little cream cheese, powdered sugar, lemon mix, and then you just make
berries. She's going to make her square in the corner.
Should we use that corner or this corner?
Use this corner so that when we're showing it, it will be.
Oh, do it here?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm not going to do this perfectly, although I want to, but for time purposes, I'm just kind of throwing these on here to make them in kind of a square. But that big one, this is a huge blueberry, huge. But this is a nice, refreshing little way to celebrate with a little dessert pizza, and it's not overly sugary. It's got some fruit on it, so you know you can have a little bit of fruit there. So when you add a little bit of sugar and stuff, it just makes it nice, and you know the kids will probably eat it, or more likely to eat it.
Right.
I should say.
You know, we probably should have traded places. See, look, you got this. You got this.
Yes.
Well, I will.
Not perfectly in line, but close. Close.
I'm sorry. I messed up your smooth, smooth lines, whatever, smooth top, and I'll let you go through and do some more.
Yeah, and you just kind of line them down.
Now, the picture called for it to be lined a little bit nicer than how I'm lining them. Are you dropping strawberries?
I'm dropping. But look how perfectly these things cut. I love it.
Yeah, we just made a clean cut across the top just so that it was, you know, lined up. You know, so that they can line up nice and even. And oh my goodness. Okay, I'm fired from decorating the tops. Hey.
I'm just kidding. This is the fun of doing this. Oh my gosh, we have so much fun when we cook. Yes. We need a little more.
I know. I was trying to be conservative with them, and
well, now that we know that we've got plenty,
right, and there too, we weren't entirely sure how many that we would need, but
yeah, and you can make them as nice and neat, or you can throw them on here, lumpy, and look, it's all gonna go the same. It's all gonna get eaten.
Now, see, that's not the tune you were letting me sing earlier when I was telling you about how smooth the topping is.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, good enough.
There you go. And so, I guess, are we done?
We're done. I'm gonna rinse my fingers off real fast.
We did 4 things tonight, and I think we did them in less than an hour. Yes, we did some prep work beforehand, but whenever you're doing a picnic and cooking and stuff, there's a lot of things that we use that helped reduce the time. This would have taken a lot longer. So for instance, the quick cooker. We did the eggs in the quick cooker. We did the potatoes in the quick cooker. The quick slice. What did we do with the quick slice? The quick slice. It cut out 10, 15 minutes, tons of time on the mushrooms and the strawberries.
And the tomatoes.
And the tomatoes. Because, you know, you gotta have tomato for your burgers. And so, you know, the manual food processor, you know, we didn't have to chop up the mushrooms real finely. You know, we were able to do that with that. So, and the double burner grill with the press. It took
that was 4 minutes in total.
Yeah.
3. We started at 3 on
well, I would
one
say
side.
4, and then maybe 5 minutes.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
because I started it about a minute after we got them on there.
True.
But we did a lot in just a fairly short amount of time, and we pretty much have 4th of July covered, at least for us. We're covered. So, on that note, I hope everybody has a wonderful, safe 4th of July. We want to show you our design, and hopefully they don't start sliding down, which we see some of them sliding. But happy 4th of July. Thank you, troops, for all of the things that you do for us. We really appreciate it, and if it weren't for them, then we wouldn't have our freedom. So
right, exactly.
Thank you for everyone that serves, and I'm fixing the strawberries as we talk. But
Well, folks, it's been a day with Pampered Chef, cooking with Chris. And again, happy 4th of July.
Yes.
Enjoy time with family.
Yes.
If you have to work, hopefully it's short, like it is for me.
And be safe.
Yes.
Be very, very safe and have a good time.
Yes, exactly.
Have a great evening.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Oh my gosh, this looks so good.
I know. Come on, finish.